Hello, everybody. Welcome to a special edition of the Jason Cavness Show. My name is Mark Schreiner, and I'm the CEO and co-founder of BreezeDocs. Jason has been kind enough to give me the platform to demo BreezeDocs and show what we can do with RFP, security questionnaires, and everything else. But before I jump into the demo, first off, I want to do a little asterisk and say I am using Jason's studio right now. I'm on his computer. We had literally 10 minutes to get this set up and going. So I don't know what's going to happen. I mean, normally you do a demo, your own computer, your own environment, whatever. But we're doing this completely native on his equipment. Hope this can go well. And what I'm going to show you is, imagine if you have an RFP that will come in. A lot of RFPs will come in and they might be, I don't know, 20, 30, 40 pages. You might have 300 or 400 questions that you have to answer. Could also be a security questionnaire, an RFI, any other type of questionnaire. But you have that document come in and you need to answer that document. Usually it's in there's a deadline, so a time-bound kind of deadline there. And typically you'll have to involve several people in your organization. So not only will you have to provide answers for all those questions, you will have to check with your IT team, your security team, your product team, maybe your finance team, your HR team. And they're going to ask all these different questions. And it's kind of impossible for one person, even if they have the content that's been used before, it's impossible for them to figure out what is the most appropriate answer for all those different categories. And then allow them to kind of go out and collaborate with those other people. You could use, there's a lot of different AI tools these days that will give you some answers based upon the documents that you feed it. But then they get tripped up when it comes to that collaboration piece. They get tripped up on things like multiple choice questions and some other things. But I'm going to show you how BreezeDocs solves that problem and makes RFPs, security questionnaires, and other types of business documents, quote unquote, a breeze. It makes it really simple. We designed the platform to be simple, intuitive, and super easy to use. And I'm going to prove that because I'm using Jason's computer and his platform and equipment, everything like that to do that. So here we go. First off, challenge number one, I've got to figure out how to share my screen. And I think if I click here, and I want to go current application, and then I'm going to go over here, and hey, it looks like it's working. You can see here that our URL is breezedocs.ai. You can go there, and if you're not a subscriber, please go and book a demo. But that's what we're going to do right now. So I'm going to log in, and because it's not my computer, I have to put all this stuff in. And and we're going to go password. Don't look, anybody. Here's my password. Fingers crossed. And we're in. Okay, so this is the dashboard of BreezeDocs. And what it allows any kind of project manager to do is see the current projects that they have going on. What are the company names, the dollar amounts, the due dates, total number of questions, questions that have already been answered, questions that have been assigned to other people, and questions that are unanswered. So you can see here I've assigned 56 questions, 49 have been answered, and there's 197 that are pending. Okay, and I might say, oh, the deadline, well, this one's already passed, but if the deadline was imminent, I might want to click on this and kind of accelerate things. So I can do that. And what you can typically do is you can come in and maybe I got a new project. So what would I do is I can go to projects and click new, and I'm going to do the JCE for the Jason Cavness experience, and the company, I'm going to create a new company, and we're also going to call it Jason Cavness. There we're going to go. And I'm going to say that Jason sent me an NDA, or he sent me an NDA, and I have it signed, and I can upload it here if I want. I'm going to click that back and just say save. Okay, so what have I done? I've just created a project, and it's right here. I didn't put in the deadline or the revenues, but I can do that. When I come into the project, first thing I want to do is upload the questionnaire, because I said they sent me a questionnaire. Maybe it's 200 questions. I don't know. So let's go here. Pretty easy to do. on my computer. Let's see if I can do it on Jason's. He created a special folder, and there we go. And I'm going to open that. So what Breeze is going to do is actually I just selected the wrong one, so I'm going to go cancel, back out of there, and upload new. Try that again, and there we go. That's strange. Okay, we're going to try this again. This is the wrong questionnaire. So threw me a curveball. I'm going to cancel it one more time. And actually, this will work. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to say, these are questions. And I'm going to say set as question. And I want the answers to go right here. And I'm going to say set answer. And then I'm going to say done. Okay, and I could do that for the whole document. And I could do it for several tabs in a document. I got an alert up here saying that it's been uploaded, and here it is. And it says total of 7 questions. Again, I just for the sake of time, I didn't let you watch me go through several hundred questions and highlight them. Breeze can actually auto detect questions and answers, but we'll get to that next. So I open up the questionnaire. Instead of looking at an Excel sheet here, I can go in and I can look at each question that I've uploaded here. I can select all. I can, but what I'm going to do first to keep to make it simple is I'll say, what's this first one here? Or I'll do the second one. It's a shorter question. What should you do if you receive a suspicious email? I click on that question, and Breeze is going to give me a couple different answers here. And it ranks the answers, and this answer here is from the Q&A match. These are previously approved questions and answers, and it will say employees must use extreme caution when opening email attachments received from unknown senders, which mean, okay, this looks like a pretty good answer, so I can go select and save. Okay, let's go on to another question. Who is responsible for IT security? Now, on this one, I get more answers, and I'm going to explain the different types of answers in a second, but I get Q&A matches. It says, who's responsible for IT security? The executive director. That's not really, because these are 3 stars, 3 stars. And then I go down here, and I look at reference files, and I'm going to explain the difference of Q&A match and reference files in a second. But then what I do is I see that Breeze AI has looked at everything and has suggested its own answer. The Information Security Administrator designated by the Executive Director or the Director of IT Infrastructure is responsible for IT. You know what? That looks like the right answer. And I'm going to save it. But what I'm also going to do is I'm going to go down here. Sorry, the mic's in the way. And I'm going to tag one of my colleagues, and I'm going to say at 007. Please check this. Okay, and I'm going to save that. Now, on my computer, I could open up the email of 007s, and you would see that that person would get an email alert. They could click on it, and it would take them to the question, and only that question, or any other questions that I've tagged them on, and then they could provide feedback. So that collaboration piece that I'm talking about there. Let's do one more question here. So if I go back here, and if let's go, let's just go with this one. I have no idea. Okay, what does FastTech reserve regarding network system audits, and for what purpose are these audits conducted? So I got a 5-star one here. It says FastTech reserves the right to audit network systems on a periodic basis to ensure compliance with the policy. I'm like, you know what, that's pretty good. And the Breeze AI, which will rewrite it or contribute if it finds something better, has just basically given me the same thing. And then the search of the reference files gives me a little bit more information, but I'm going to go with this one because it's 5 stars, select, and save. Now, one way, like if I have hundreds of questions, I can go and I can select all. I can filter by category over here. So if I wanted to do by finance, by HR, etc. And when I do that, I can also assign. So I could assign all the ones that I've selected to another subject matter expert in the company. And then you can see that now MS is the SME for all of these. They've been assigned, but you can also see the status that they haven't been reviewed or answered. I'm still allowed to go in and suggest an answer, but that SME has been assigned it now so that they will have to come in and confirm the answer. Another thing that I can do when I select all is I could hit the Breeze button, and that will pre-populate the highest scored answer for all those questions, okay? For multi-part questions or nested questions, so something that says, for example, in regards to your IT policy, and then ask for like carry-on questions to it, you can split those questions, answer each one individually, and then merge them back together. You can also attach reference files, etc. So you might be saying, where is this information for these answers coming from? And where it's coming from is Breeze's Knowledge Hub. So the Knowledge Hub here, you can see, is made up of Q&A matches, reference files, and attachments. Q&A matches, those are previously completed RFPs, RFIs, security questionnaires, etc., where you have a question and an answer. And Breeze looks at that and says, oh, you've answered this question before here. Under what conditions can you access or share FastTech proprietary information? And this is the answer you used. So Breeze, using generative AI, knows that any question, whether that has the same meaning as this one, it could be worded in an infinite number of ways, but if the meaning is the same as this one, then the answer will be the same as this one, as this answer here. So Breeze says, oh, you answered this before, maybe the question was worded differently, but because you use this answer, we're going to suggest that answer. That's Q&A matches. Reference files are any of the company documents like acceptable use policies, insurance policies, AI policies, anything. We had one company that uploaded all their help files and made them searchable on Breeze, okay? So any kind of reference documents from your company doesn't have to be in Q&A format at all. What Breeze allows you to do when you're searching for answers is, instead of you manually going through those documents, imagine an AI policy that's 20 pages long. Imagine trying to go through line by line, paragraph by paragraph, trying to find an answer. Breeze does it in an instant and suggests, hey, this document has these 2 or 3 paragraphs that are relevant to your question. And then Breeze AI will take that relevant content and then rewrite it so that it's even more appropriate. It's a more appropriate answer to the question that was asked. The third part of the Knowledge Hub are attachments. Now, excuse me, a lot of times when you're filling out an RFP, they may ask you to send them, maybe your org chart or different documents like that. You can put all attachments that you commonly send out in this part of the Knowledge Hub. And because you're putting them in as attachments, you can add them to the return document that you export so that it's exported. It's not necessarily searching it, but it's allowing you to attach NDAs, any kind of documents that you commonly attach and submit with your final RFP submission. The Knowledge Hub is super cool because in addition to allowing you to complete RFPs, RFIs, etc., help you to complete these questionnaires, helping you to collaborate, it also works as a sales enablement tool. In fact, many of our customers have the sales enablement module onto Breeze. And what that allows them to do is, imagine I'm on a sales call and somebody says, are you ISO 27001 certified? Let's just say I would type it out, but this mic is in my face. It's making me look like a really bad typer, but and I get no answer because this is a different demo tenant. Let's go translation. Do we have translation memory? Search. And for whatever reason, It's not working. Let me try it one more time up here. I'm just going to blame it on the fact that I'm on Jason's computer. Trust me, this works. It's awesome because it allows you to search your Knowledge Hub and find any of the information that you've put in there. I'm going to try one more thing here because this is really bothering me. I've never had this fast tech. Okay, so I typed in the company Fast Tech, and it gives me all references in the Q&A match that comes up for Fast Tech and any reference files. And let me just go IT, who is responsible for IT security at Fast Tech. And again, I can do here and I can see who the answers are in the Q&A matches, and I can see the actual, I can copy this reference files, I can see which files reference those terms, but then I can go to Breeze over here, and Breeze will actually give me an answer. So I could try to go through those different question and answer matches or those different files, but Breeze AI will give me the answer. So I'm on the call, and they say, who's responsible for your IT security? And I'd say, oh, well, the Information and Security Administrator designated by the Executive Director of IT is responsible for IT security at Fast Tech. Okay, I have better examples, but I'm going to blame it on me doing this and not on my computer. Actually, it's just probably I didn't prepare good enough for this, but that's okay. Let's move on. Another thing I can show you is sometimes you get, let me try this here. If we go to the try a different type of questionnaire. Upload new, and go here. We're going to go multiple choice. Next. Okay, so you can see this document has some multiple choice questions, and so I'm going to select these two as a question. And then I'm going to select these two as, well, as multiple choice. And then I'm going to put a space over here for comments if I want. And I say done. And again, I could do this for the whole document, but I'm not going to do that right now. And then I click on this RFP5 multiple choice, and I can see, please identify which type of organization you are. So again, this is asking for me to select something, and Breeze AI says, well, wait a minute, this is a multiple choice. So I just click here, and I can say, oh, this is out of the choices or options that they're giving me. We can say that we just go, okay, and then what I can do here is I can add comments here. And actually we are blah blah blah. Okay, and let's go back. Try one more here. What is the size of your organization? Oh, and you might have noticed that I didn't have to save this because everything in Breeze is autosave. So this is an answer. Normally there would be an answer over here, but if it was a non-multiple choice, even when I select it, you don't really have to save it. And again, I can add a comment, or I can tag somebody in my company to have them check it out. And if I want to change the answer or make notes to it, I can do that as well here. I'm just going to hit save. Okay. Now, I've gone through and completed those two questionnaires very, very quickly. And when I go back here, if I want to download these documents, do that, and that's a simple thing, and I have no idea where they're going to show up on Jason's computer, but I can actually try, because it'll probably go to your downloads file. Go here, yeah, it's so let's see here. If I go to, where would your downloads be? I'm going to go over here. Jason's pointing to the screen here. Yeah, so it's for whatever reason. The download question has started. Will notify you when you keep working. Um, anyway, you can download the completed questionnaire. What I could also do while that's doing its business, I'm gonna just click on this one more time here. Let's go back to the dashboard. Um, Now, the dashboard you're going to see has a couple different things here. We also have some metrics up here, the total projects that the revenue that we have in the pipeline, what we've won, any open questions. That's a lot of open questions. But down here, you get a different view. When an SME is assigned questions, they don't see all the projects. They just see the projects in the context of what's been assigned to them. So I created this project, JCE, and I assigned some of those questions, and I happen to be the SME on that case, and I can see that it's a different number when I log in. I can see what has been assigned to me, but because I'm the project manager, it shows everything. But again, normally the SME would just see what's been assigned to them. Last thing I'm going to show here is, again, your dashboard. Creating a project is super simple. I already showed you that. Creating a new customer, just one click and then a couple fields. Adding users, I can add, we have different user amounts depending on what package you are, but ideally, or in reality, there is no limit to the number of users. You can have both internal and external users. I should have mentioned earlier that since this is a live stream, we have a comment section. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to close this up. Let me see if one of the things here. Oh, Excel. Now it's been completed. Now I can download. Okay, there we go. Okay, so you can see here, here's the multiple choice questions, and here's the answers that I selected. And you see it keeps the formatting of the original document there, okay? Now, again, I could go and do this whole thing. Literally, it would probably take me with, all these questions, multiple tabs. I could probably get through this thing in an hour, at least a rough draft, and then CC the appropriate subject matter experts for them to check it out. Here's the other document that I worked on, and no, that's the same document. Let me do that again. Jason, I can't believe you talked me into using your computer. Download, oh, maybe one more here. Okay, so, and here's the answers here that or the questions that I answered, and here's the answers here. The ones that are colored have been unanswered. So I'm alerted like, hey, you know what? You haven't answered these ones yet. So you can see the question, what must you ensure regarding proprietary information? And then you can see the answer that I selected here. And if there are any comments or remarks, you can see that here on the Excel document. We handle Word documents as well. And for the Knowledge Hub, you can upload PDFs as well. So now, if I can figure out how to close all this and go back to Ecamm and stop sharing. Jason, you're gonna have to, how do I get back to Ecamm here? Minimize, minimize, and minimize. Awesome, and one more to minimize, close there. And I'm going to stop sharing. And I want to go here. Yeah, I'm back. Okay, and then, oh, there were no comments. I was going to say, if you had any questions or comments, like high fives or any hard-hitting questions, I'm going to give you like 30 seconds to respond. In the meantime, let me tell you about the types of companies that are really doing well with Breeze. We specifically are targeting small and medium-sized businesses. There are some enterprise-level solutions out there that are priced 6 to 7, 8 times, 10 times more than BreezeDocs. We want to create a platform super simple, easy to use, and cost-effective for SMBs who can go out and allow them to compete with the big enterprise companies out there without dropping 30, 40, 50 grand a year. We have some great success stories. One company last year, they did, or prior to using Breeze, they did 5 RFPs, And in the subsequent year, they did 27 RFPs into five different languages as well. I did get a question here from somebody we all know. It says, does the level of government matter? No, we have companies that are working with city, county, state, and federal governments. We have companies in Canada that are working with provincial governments and the Canadian federal government through the RFP process. We also have companies that do RFPs through independent, like from school districts, for circuit courts in California. So there are a variety of different governmental organizations, and it really depends on the type of RFP. For full disclosure here, when you get an RFP, there's generally two types. One is question, answer, question, answer, question, answer, and you'll know if you get that type because you'll get inundated with literally hundreds of questions. The other type of RFPs are, they'll take pages and pages to describe their ideal, like what they're sourcing, and then, or what they want to buy, and then they'll ask you, please tell us a little bit about your company and your solution. So we call that open-ended. Breeze is very, very effective in those first group, the question and answer type. And in the next 3 to 4 weeks, we will be releasing our solution to help with those open-ended RFPs. I just showed you how we work with the question and answer type RFPs. The open-ended RFPs was going to work a little bit different. Breeze is going to go through, help you identify the key requirements, and then batch them into quote unquote kind of questions or problem statements, and then allow Breeze to pull all the information out of your Knowledge Hub and recommend solutions. Then of course you would go in and customize that as needed. If you want more information, I think Jason's put the QR code for BreezeDocs on the screen there. You can go there and request a demo. You can go to breezedocs.ai to our website and request a demo. You can connect with me, Mark Schreiner, on LinkedIn, or our Chief Revenue Officer, Alessio De Martis. He's also on LinkedIn. We cover all time zones in North America and Europe. So wherever you're at, reach out to us. And I think that's it. I'd like to say thanks to Jason, and thanks to you all for listening and watching. And have a great summer, everybody.